Good morning, and welcome back to Cooking for Culinary, Week 8, Bechamel, Pasta, and Chicken. Now, I don't know what bechamel is, but I can tell you what pasta and chicken are, and they are good. But as you can see, we're not going to be using the chopping board for much of this video, as we're going to be using the stove. Now, let's head back over there. So, first things first, our bechamel, which starts off with a roux. Now, what a roux is, you might ask? I'll tell you. It is 1 part butter and 1 part AP flour. Now, for this case, we're using 4 ounces of butter and just melting it down, making sure that it doesn't boil or burn. And once that's melted down completely, we'll start adding our flour. Now, the flour should give the roux a doughy consistency, which will give the sauce a thicker consistency. My pronunciation sucks. But besides that, we'll just put this in another bowl once it's done, cooking on a low heat, and we'll let it cool. And while that's cooling, we'll boil some milk. Now, this is half a gallon of milk with a peaked onion. Now, a peaked onion is just an onion with a whole clove spearing a bay leaf into it. Now, it sort of acts as like a tea bag of sorts, an onion-shaped, onion-flavored tea bag, which will give the sauce some more flavor as it's boiling. Now, once that's finished, we'll take the peaked onion out, reserve it, and put our roux back in to give the sauce more flavor, and whisking it into the sauce. Now, as you can see, I did not use a big enough pot for this, so it kind of spilt a little bit, but eventually I learned my lesson and get a bigger pot. Now, once this is finished, we'll just start ladling it and sieving through the thicker chunks of the sauce, leaving behind a creamy white sauce, which is going to be our bechamel. Now, this bechamel sauce is sort of bland at the moment since I didn't put in any spices or any cheese beforehand, so we'll just do that for right now. We'll just put some salt, pepper, mixing it in a little bit, tasting it, just making sure that it's to our liking. And it still comes out a bit creamy, so I eventually put in more Parmesan cheese later on, but that's beside the point. We put that off to the side to start our next ingredient, the baked chicken. Now, we're just going to salt and pepper both sides of the chicken. Now, this is the chicken thigh, and you're wondering why I'm using chicken thigh. My mom just prefers thighs over breasts, and I couldn't agree with her more, because they taste far better than breasts, in my opinion, though. But we'll just let those bake in an oiled pan and put it onto a different stove top, because we're going to start boiling our pasta while this is baking. And for the pasta, we'll just put it in a half pot of boiling water. You could put olive oil to make sure the pasta doesn't stick, but I didn't do that in this case. It doesn't really matter too much, but we'll just let the pasta sort of boil over and just listen to Blue Monday. As you can tell, I did not put the audio on. It's probably going to be mismatched, but, you know, who cares? It's just a pre-recording anyways. But once this is done to al dente, we have plated it. And look at that. Looks pretty good. Now, as per standard, I'm going to be tasting this to not give my family salmonella, but to my surprise, the chicken is fully cooked and no pink is seen within it. So, congrats on me for not giving myself salmonella, or my family either. But we'll just take a chunk of this chicken, give it a little taste test, just take a bite out of it, and get just a roll of pasta and some sauce. And look at that. That's some good looking pasta and chicken. Now, eventually I did put some more Parmesan on it to give it more cheesy flavor to my liking, but that's up to you, whoever wants to make this sauce in their own kitchen. But this came out pretty well, so that's bechamel pasta, and baked chicken. Now I'm going to finish this in another room as to not gross people out of my eating habits, but I'll finish this in another room. Peace.